Hey there, YouTube land. Today I'm going to show you some older shotgun shells I have. Uh, so let's get started. Now, before we get any further, these are all 16 gauge shells because I only have two 16 gauge shotguns and I'm a big fan of 16 gauge. So, the first thing I'm going to show you is a box of these old Winchester rabbit and squirrel loads. Um, These are low brass shells and they contain an ounce of number 6 shot. And this is not a full box because I have shot quite a few of these. Or a few. It's like half a box. This is what a shell from there looks like. You know, it's like I said, it's low brass and has an ounce of number 6 shot. These are plastic shot shells. And I have another box of Winchester shells like this, except once I get this shut, there we go. They are dove and quail loads. And these are also low brass shells, but they have an ounce of number 8 shot in them. Here's what they look like. Now this box is full. I have not shot any of these. And as you can see on there, it says Winchester Western. However, when I did my research, I found out that the white box Winchesters, or Winchester put their ammunition out in the white box with the red and orange stripes from the early 80s up till the mid 90s, I believe. So they're not quite as old as I thought initially, but still very cool. My dad and I found these at a gun shop 2 years ago. 2.5 actually. And we bought them for the 16 gauges that I now have. So anyway, so a fun fact about Western was it used to be its own company, and those of you who know your ammunition will know that Winchester makes a Super X round, and I do have some varieties of those. But the Super X was started by Western, and then when Winchester acquired Western, I'm not sure exactly what year that was. Winchester continued to make the Super X, and they still make them to this day. So it's a little fun fact. Moving on, the next one I have are these Remington Peters shells. Um, these are also plastic shells. These are express shells, and they have number 1 buckshot in them. I got these from a friend of mine who gave them to us, my dad and I. Sadly, my dad passed away back in February of 2021, but I ended up with a lot of his stuff, and this is some of the stuff I ended up with. But, so I think these are from probably the late 60s, maybe more than likely the 70s. If any of you know, feel free to comment down below, and I'll see if I can, and I'll also see if I can try to dig up more info on this. I have 5 of these, and I have not tried to shoot any of them yet, though I'm sure they would still shoot. Because I don't have that many of these. These are mainly for coyote, so there's that. The next shells I'm going to show you are also Remington Peters. They're also express shells, but these are express power piston magnums with number 4 shot. And the same friend I got the buckshot from gave me these for turkeys. But these have number 4 bird shot in them. and I have 3 of these. So, I save them for turkey. And now we're on to the oldest one. Oh, and I believe those shells are from the same era as the buckshot. This one is a really old one, or older. This is a paper shell. Now, paper shells were made for a lot of years, and I think they stopped making the paper shells in the 60s when plastic came out. And the reason that paper shells kind of lost their popularity is because if you get these wet, they swell. Now, Remington did try to correct that by putting grooves into the shells to keep them from swelling so much. How effective it was, I really don't know. And that's actually kind of why a lot of shotgun shells these days have grooves in them, even though they're plastic, and getting a plastic shell wet isn't really a big deal. But anyway, this is a paper shell, but it's a slug. And this is a Winchester Super Speed shell. I think this might be from like the 40s or 50s because it is a paper shell. It's in really good shape. It's not swollen. You know, the primer's all fine. I have no doubt this would fire, but I only have one, and I don't really want to fire it. Now, as far as the slug goes, I would not shoot that out of my double barrel. My 311. You guys have seen it in one of my other videos. Only because that has fixed chokes. One's a full choke and one's a modified choke, and I don't want to risk damaging them. I would, however, shoot them out of my Mossberg 190. Again, I have a video with that. Because the 190 has the select choke, or the poly choke as some may call it, but Mossberg called it a select choke. And the reason for that is because on the Mossberg, I can open the choke up to improved cylinder, which is the ideal setting for shooting slugs out of. So if I wanted to, I could take that out for deer and bear, as long as I use slugs in it. And in some parts of New York, you cannot use a regular rifle. I'm not in one of those parts. I'm in Washington County where rifles are allowed. But if I lived in a county like either like Erie County or Dutchess County or Niagara County or one of the counties that didn't allow regular rifles, I could take my Mossberg and put slugs in it and shoot deer and bear with it. So there's that. And I may consider doing that one day, taking that out just for something different. I would just have to get more slugs for it and make sure it would shoot well with them. But anyway, so yeah, those are the older shells I have in my collection. And I would definitely recommend if you have older guns like I do, like the 2 shotguns I have are older, and you see some older ammo like this, as long as you check it and make sure it's in reasonable shape, I would definitely pick it up. Now, granted, yeah, you're going to get it second hand, but I would say it's definitely worth it because to me, it's kind of cool to shoot older ammo in an older gun. Seems more fitting to me, but that's just me. And I do have plenty of modern shells I shoot out of them, but you know, it is what it is. Anyway, thank you for watching, and if you haven't already, please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.